dragon beings, all the mythological creatures that you see are alive and they're real. And they exist right in this moment. If I can go like this, that's what the veil, the peaking of the veil is. You know, we have these inserts that have been put in here for too long, and they need to be removed, but you need to do it. You need to unlock your code. So, it is time, and they tell me it is time and not to be scared. These messages are vibrational from all of us. And we're all here together because what we're doing is when you meet somebody, you say, oh, hi, how are you? Where are you from? I'm from Chicago. Oh, you know, you're making a greeting. But what you don't see is there's billions of information going, and your answer is going, oh my God, I remember you from this lifetime. Oh, hi, how are you? And the other one's doing, how many pieces? Oh my God, how many star systems have you built? You know, you like paper? How does that taste? You know, and you see it. You're like, hi. It doesn't matter the words. I'll tell you something. I try not to talk about me. But they're telling me it's important because I'm an example of a vehicle, just like you are an example of a vehicle. And it is important to tell your story, your journey, who you are, what you've done, what inspires you. Really, really important. I want to hear. Please talk to me. I want to hear who you are. Who you think you are at the time of change every moment. So that energy comes in as you need, when you need, to understand. But people want to hear what you have to say. You know, everyone has a voice, and everyone has a mission and a message. So when we came here, they tell me when we came here, we agreed to this veil of protection around our psyche, so that we could do this work. Because right now, if we really knew how powerful we are, that we can shapeshift, we can become plastic, I can walk into that tree, I can become that tree, I can merge with anything, I can fly, I can create systems. We actually can do that. But in this modern society, we've been completely separated from that. There's a program that's been put in place, less about control, I believe. It's more about the game. Game. You know, when you don't have fear, it's a conscious choice. Fear is just an immediate emotional reaction. When you get out of that, it's just something that is. It's like something happens, and then you put meaning to it. The problem is, we are brought up in a system that's so incredibly architected. I mean, it's beautiful and the brilliance of the beings that have put together this matrix or system. Everything you think and do, what your parents teach you, what they teach you in school, but what the food you eat, how you're eating, what you're seeing on television, always streaming streams and channels, media and information constantly reinforce how you are not really here. You know, we're being taught separated from our children, go to school, get programs, go to the factory, go to work, go to get by stuff. You know, I was in that rat race too. All the people that gravitate to this energy work have some kind of corporate business, energy, or factory work, or something. You've been out in that mechanical world. What's interesting, you know, with technology, is it is actually a higher vibrational communication tool, if you will. They tell me it's all in how you use it. It has a good purpose of, you know, logging online at 2 in the morning and talking to someone in Africa that you may never meet. There's a joining, but it can also be very manipulative if you don't know how to use it. Just like if you don't know how to use your body. You know, I was in New York for 26 years and had to leave because people would walk down the street going like this, having conversations in the future and in the past. They would look at everything that was promoted by their friends on Facebook. They would look at every little piece of media that would be documenting everything that they wouldn't be in the moment. It went by them and by them and by them. And then I started looking around. I had this moment where I stood right in the middle of 23rd Street and just looked around and watched people. The birds that were moving so beautifully, got confused. Their radar was off. The cell towers, the cell phones, everybody bumping into each other, walking across the street, crosshatch, bumping, lights, everything. It was chaotic. And it's because of all this energy that's been out in there. And then people continue to generate because they don't understand it. What I loved about Bear Cloud's talk yesterday was he had a vision to build a temple so that people can relearn what they forgot. You can't forget these people, and you can't really judge these people because they don't know any different. They are also part of the program, and they're just doing the best they can. You know, I work in a very, very high-level Swiss corporate environment for the last 7 years. And I saw how this operates. And there are really, really good people in that system. People that want to provide things, people that want to do good. You know, so anyone you meet, it's important not to have a judgment about them. And even when you know them, you know, let go of all of that, because you'll start to see the real essence of the person, really who they are, and what they have to offer. But they have, everybody is equal. Everyone. And the hardest people, the supposedly dark energy, are those the ones when they turn a little bit and face themselves, are the ones that are going to be really skyrocketing. What Bear Club was offering was to create an environment that's so high vibrational that they will and choose to move in that path, in that direction. And that is really, really important. We can't judge them because they really don't know. You know, our parents taught us a certain thing, this whole work ethic. Work hard, go forward, move, make things happen. That's how we're taught. It's the factory mentality. There's so much architecture covering that people don't really, really know, but they're starting to know. You know, there's why the mind games, the energy games, the money games. It's all a game. But once you get it, you step out of it. It's a choice. You don't have to live that way. You can still schedule your meetings, do whatever you need to do, because we are free and that's how things keep moving. But you don't align to that system. You understand that that is part of that maintenance system. So when you need to meet somebody, it's also respect their time in this moment. And then you go off and you meditate, you talk to the trees and the stars, and get your energy together. But everybody that is collectively coming, we're a tribe that's coming back together, and we know this. You know, there is a knowing already inside of you. You know, you're here, you may not know exactly why. Oh my God, what am I doing here? I just woke up and here I am. There's many beings that have helped you, each one of you, get there. Your ancestors are standing around you, grandfather, grandmother, holy mother, holy father. God is energy. It's part of you, and it's an aspect of you, but it's also your lineage. You know, so that's why it's important to understand who you are, and then you can actually help people. Because what will happen is you will understand what makes you unique. And then you can actually send that energy out to all the other people. And then you start vibrating together. And then all of the other negativity that's around you will just dissipate. You can't stand in that space. You're creating basically a portal channel. So there's energy that's coming from, you know, out in the way out, galactic energy stars. Mother Earth is a being. She's a consciousness. She's a being that is chosen to take on all of time. You know, this is a big job. And she's crystalline, and she moves, and she breathes, and she allows. She's very gracious that she allows all of this strip mining, and pummeling, and drilling, and holes, and everything. She's taking it. And now she's learning it's okay not to do that anymore for her world of evolution. She, a planet, a star system, evolved. So she, just like us, because we are part of her, we are resonating in the same energy at the same moment, has decided that she wants to move to the next energetic level. So we're here to help her because we're part of it. So as you raise your vibration, you pull yourself up, you know, metaphor, you radiate out. Someone else can see that, and they radiate out. So some people say, I don't know what my mission is. I don't know what I'm doing here. You know, I'm working in a factory, or I'm writing this business proposal or whatever, but what's the real purpose here? Only you know, but it's worth moving forward. It's energetically, it's important to understand your system and your voice now. because it's needed, and that's, you're gonna strip something on. You're gonna, you know, they talk about your body being broke, you're gonna flex, but you have to choose it. And then you have to choose how. So one of the things that the artists share with me is that we're really building this new blueprint that has never existed before. It's a new world that is already happening that we're all doing. So when you start to gravitate towards the growth, you might see a dancer who's starting to write, or these other artistic expressions are starting to open for you. Or you may go, oh my gosh, I like science. This is really cool. You know, how does the atoms move together and what? Follow that, follow your heart, because it's really exciting. But what's happening, what I'm noticing, is that all these systems are merging. So this delineation between art, science, philosophy, culture, systems, money, you know, food systems, everything, it's all merging into this really incredible dance. So I've been really attracted to artists that are really multi-dimensional. You know, do dance and they have a band going with a painting on stage, or you know, just because it opens people's consciousness. So right now I don't have a sound or anything, but you know, throughout the day maybe I'll do a little bit of that. But when you do that, you activate different people's senses. So there, you know, some people observe and absorb information audibly, through their minds, through their bodies, people are physical, people are mental learners, people are heart learners, people need to dance, people need to see colors. The funny thing about me is, when I was little, I used to mix all my senses together, and I didn't really understand it. It's very overwhelming. Little by little, I started reading from the line about people that had synesthesia, if you've ever heard of that. But it's a, sort of, I guess, a neurological, or not a physical phenomenon where your senses process. As a little child, I would hear a sound and see colors and shapes forming in front of my eyes. And I would feel things in my body. Taste food, they would have a number or vibration of colors. I would go toward objects, feel energetic things that were coming. Like I could hear conversations from the podium of all of them in here. Now, that's a lot to do for a child. And energies would come in different ways, and I didn't understand it, but fortunately I had a mother who was an artist who said, do what you want, do the baby, go, I've done a couple kids, go out and be free and do what you want. So she created that space. But I do want to say that the most beautiful gift she gave to me was, she was a practicing artist, and she drew a line, a blue line, and she said, what is that? I said, it looks like a blue line. See that chair? I drew that chair. That's how I perceived that chair at that moment. That chair, to me, is a blue line. You don't have to like it, you don't have to understand it, but that's how it appeared in manifested. When you look at art, when you really look at energetic frequencies, like in Debussy and Paul Klee or Chopin, anything, they're working with these frequencies. There's energy that happens visually and audibly and whatever in between those things. They're actually codes and systems and information that when you feel it, it changes something in you. When you hear a beautiful song, or when you hear a dissonant song, it changes something in your vibration. And they say it's really important to understand how this works. Now, you already know, we've already done this many times. The elementals in the world tell me that we have been, we've been through everything. We've been a rock, we've been a stone, we've been a breath of air, we've been a flower, we've been a tree. That's why we can talk to them. That's actually the language bridge. When I wanted to understand what I was doing, I asked Spirit to show me the languages, to show me how to talk to the trees, to show me how to listen to the stones, to show me how they work together, why are they here, and what they do. People that study botanical herbals, they can walk through a space, and even if they find a plant they don't understand, they know how to feed it. They know how to see the colors, the light, the form, the shape, how long it's been, how high it is, where it is, where it is, do everything else. They feel it and then absorb it and go, this is good for your blood. But however that works. You know, artists are like that, but the message that comes to me is we're all artists. You know, we have to get out of this programming that art is in walls and galleries. You know, when you dress today, you are a work of art. When you walk, it's a work of art. I learned that from New Paula. It's ceremony at every moment. You know, if you're having a bad day, really messy. That's also your humanness going through existence and trying to understand itself. And then you decide, okay, I can change this. It's so bad I can't stand it anymore. Keep this thing and keep fitting me. And then you go, okay, I've done this. How do I resolve it? And then you go, oh, I don't want to do that. Let's do this. Hey. You know, and then it changes. So they tell me that life is a work of art. And if you can understand and ask yourself why something is happening, why these energies are happening, and understand how to work with the tools and systems in your body, this 1111 books are really good activators. When you see these codes, when you think about these codes, and you hear these messages from many different things, from many different instances, the first thing you see is they're all helpers. There's no hierarchy in the spiritual world. Everybody has a job, has a goal, and we all work together. We have specialties. What's your specialty? You know, it's like what country do you come from, or what kind of food do you like? These are really important to share. So understanding that of yourself, and then how you want to give, and what you want to give, and why you want to give. The last thing that they want me to share right now is that everyone has a code inside of them. It's like a diamond seed crystal. You know, sometimes it's a gold or blue or whatever, but this is the thing that carries all of your information. And this is you. This is your soul, spirit essence. That is the thing that births, you know, everything in your DNA. Your DNA is alive inside each one of the cells are alive. So they say, especially with the water, look at the water and think of the water when you flush the water. Think of the water as an aspect of yourself and love it. Love it. Put love, energy, whatever that means to you at the moment. Put it in there. Express the gratitude and receive it. And what happens is the elementals will actually jump like little enemies, and they get excited. Oh, they play God. Let's go work. Let's go play. And they come into your body, and when you accept it and allow it and love whatever you're receiving, it awakens you, and they start talking. Oh, let's turn this around. Move this thing around. Oh, let's go. You know, how are these brain things working? How's your heart working? They're excited beings. And inside each element has every aspect of the universe. So we are part of creation because we've been created. But therefore, we are creators. It's not the big guy who made us and now we're here to move around or whatever. Every single element in us is exactly as it is. Un kalawa kaiten and way, it's what even of a top. Okay, you know what? That's one of the people of some of our what's what even. If you go in one kite the one, I said to our summer, what until the war, I said what some work at the WhatsApp. Oh, you know what? At the WhatsApp, one kite to WhatsApp. Oh, keep it over, mum, what's in the most like one dollar. What's the best? What kite the man? You know what get it was seen in the one kite. They say all the ancestors, and especially the big ones of these mountain ranges, are here. They're very, very tall beings. I just want to share. I was asked for some history of this region. Wherever you go, when you find out who's there, what's in there, and why, you calibrate yourself with each one of these systems. When you drink the water, when you move to different places, you're absorbing information after sharing it. So it's a language too. So I just want to share, I was asking Paul who helped here. These are 4 mountain ranges that you see out the window. We're in the middle of the Rocky Mountain ranges. And I want to, out of respect, I want to share their names to you because these are very, very, very ancient live beings. I communicated with them this morning. And even if you look and just express your gratitude to the beauty of these beings, you actually activate them and they will talk to you. So the one that looks like way over here to the right, that looks like an eagle head, it's called Estes Cone. That's a dormant volcano. There are hundreds of volcanoes right around here in Brazil, and they were alive at one time, and they're still alive to work at such a high level. We are at about 9,200 feet, but they're called, those mountains are called the 1400 because they're over 1400, 14ers, they're over 14,000 feet tall. So they have a little different energy, but that's the Estes Cone. The next one is Mount Washington or Lady Washington. Then there's Long Peak and Meeker. And also the elk that are in this area were almost extinct, but they were brought in again by the guy that made Stanley vacuum cleaners, carpet cleaners, was a big fixture here, and he wanted that energy to come back. So the beautiful elk, I heard them bugling the other day, sounds like a whale, like Grandma's Monroe. So, anyway, so that was must have been her. So anyway, thank you for letting me share this, and throughout the day I'll just share a couple of the messages, but I just wanted to offer that I also do these light language sessions, which, you know, feeling your energetic pose and sharing that, and I do drawings and glyphs and many other things, so I'm sure you'd like to talk to me, but just come up with chat. I just want to get to know you and share the love. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks, Drummers, singers, everyone present, please be seated. Thank you. Welcome again to the 2015 Star Knowledge Conference in Estes Park, Colorado. And this is the third day of the ceremony of rebirthing. And like I mentioned before, we are rebirthing every moment in time. And we have so many wonderful people to share with you, and their visions and their messages and things they're being enlightened with at this time. What I find so interesting is there's a pattern in everyone. We're all pretty much saying the same thing. You know, how do we move forward? How do we live each other? How do we help each other? And just a different flavor, like an ice cream store. Yeah. So I like to mix and match my flavors. Just before we get started, a couple administrative announcements. They ask again to remind people to turn off your phones and turn off your cameras and Wi-Fi, everything, because a lot of what we do here, especially for the live stream, for people to see, is on the Wi-Fi line. So please turn that off. Please only use it limited doses. You can check in, see what's going on with your kids, your family, your work, the emails that you're not responding to.
Yeah, let's be in this moment. Let's be in this moment.
Yes, thank you very much. And let's be present in this moment. It's a beautiful thing to just be present and listen. And people want to share. And I find when you listen, then you can hear what they have to say. So one or two other things quickly. There's a lost and found. So if you'd like to, if you temporarily disengage with something to do move with you, you can check out the front desk. Two of the Grant Century Hicks will be offering a workshop at 3 p.m. We'll be taking over there because got flash on the schedule. And he is wonderful, wonderful. He has a lot of yoga and beautiful artistic messages to share, spiritual messages as well. regularly. So please see him if you can. And Dina Beta at noon is offering a gathering in the meeting room, so she is a continuation of what she's doing in her workshop. Also, I want to mention, as a reminder, when you have a moment, if you're milling around between breaks, please visit all the event tables. They're sharing their heart and their heart's work with you. So whether it's DVDs or books, just talking to them and connecting with them. Shake their hands, get to know them, and feel out who they are. They're your tribe. We're going to work together a lot. Really good. So we're working together. And also the workshops, if you have a moment, they're a little bit extra, but you really get part of the messages of what these people do. So this is also how they support them. So, you know, money is energy, but this is how we can encourage each other to really keep moving forward. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce the next and first speaker of our third day, Patricia Ford. She was gifted by the Star Nation to share some very important information that's come to her at this time. And she works with DNA activation, especially with the seeds and energies and the animals. She's a healer that works within the universes, where she's told exactly what a person or an energy needs at the time for your body, mind, spirit, and soul. So she energizes this work, and she is now walking into a new energetic way of the cosmic cowgirl. Who she says, I'm a cosmic cowgirl who will rise through the universe, helping people become younger, healthier, and abundant. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that what we all need?
Yeah.
I'd like to welcome to the stage Patricia Ford.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me back. After last year, I wasn't sure stuff that I was telling something. Okay. I am Patricia Ford. And a quick reminder of who I am. Last year, I revealed information about myself that I was terrified to bring out to everyone. And as part of that, well, I used to think maybe a hybridization program, but actually, I had a hypnotherapy session where I wanted answers to my ET connection. I was told and shown how I was spliced in. And that was the exact word they used, which I'd never heard of before. Being spliced in, not a hybrid. And they showed me exactly how it happened, where they would use a laser of information DNA from the Andromeda Galaxy and appearance, I call it Palladium, from the Milky Way galaxy. So, if you want more information about that, it is on last year's issue, or you can contact me also. But this year, it's more about doing algorithms than take identity, because we feel that information. It was a difficult year of me embodying it and letting other people know a piece of that. And it's still been difficult letting people know about each part of me. So, or anything starts. But it is pretty good. And that's why I'm telling myself, not because I wanted to, but because it's ultimate, with the cosmic cowgirl. And when I was first told that, I just got shivers all over. It was based on a story I had told them about how I use information, light information, to move traffic from the Earth, like the rush hour. It was just kind of funny how it came out. And that's a whole different story too. But I did learn how to do that. But after you told me about the cowgirl, I immediately saw myself gliding through the cosmos, through the wormholes, through the dimensions, on a dragon. So I commissioned a person to draw me right into the universe on this grade, on some of the papers we have. And where I have my lasso that I use for shift information and internet. With the changing the traffic, that was about how we work with the information around it. We tend to get all grumpy and, oh, I have to be here at this time. What happened in the head? Why is everything locked up again? But if you stay in the moment, you have to. What I've been doing is based on when I was a kid, I grew up in government. I had the most wonderful signs on my bush. I was driving cows. And we always sing songs driving cows. And how the herds move. And how to work with the herd and how to make things not to just them on the field or to keep them on the path. And we sing songs because it's a long day in the truck. It'll be fun. But as a kid growing up, every Friday night as a family, we would sit around the TV and watch an old favorite of my dad, which was Rawhide. With Honey Stricken and Rowdy Dave, and that old song, Get 'em Up, Move 'em Out, and then the foot cracking. Well, that's how I see myself when in traffic. So I'll be singing that song, and I'll take my shirt and pants and crack it out there. I get the car, just open up everything, and we need to move. And it needs to say, get out of the way. But open things up. And I think it's hard coming down from the flip on all the other cars that are involved. And they're getting reminded, get off your cell phone, they're texting, the panel that you live and all the little important things around you, pay attention. And it's done in joy and happiness, so that you're not back in a victim, grumbling, holding things back mode. You're in the happy mode, let's move. And it's pretty known that happy move in the break, and you're at your destination on your time. So when I told that story to my friend, that's when he called me and talked about that. That's how I know that. If you want more information, you'll go on my website and blog. So anyway, now I'm being shown a lot about how the interfaces of the DNA of the star systems that we are spliced into this is affecting the human body. Last year in my workshop, I talked about what the GMO producers are doing and how we can help cure them. It was such a great reception with this information that I've been asked to share more, and I decided to start that today. So, on the first page of the handout that you have, this page, you don't have a handout, there's some back there. Okay, everybody's got it? Okay. So what we're going to do today, we will go through this, and I want everyone to be able to feel it and to bring that vibration out to the planet of how to clear our GMO foods. It would take you a while to look all to you because it's a form of quantum physics-based information on how to access the field of the heart to very specific words that are like a magnified prayer. There's a lot more information on the field of the heart than any quantum physics program that you take out there. I've taken quite a few of them. How I work. So you really have to get into the field of the heart in order to make the changes needed. And that is the healing to happen. It comes to the heart energy. It's not the heart chakra, it's not the brain, it's not the voice, it's all of it combined, which is the field of the heart. And this information, the way I wrote it up, is based on a program called Cell Organ Regeneration. I wrote it a number of years ago in Australia. It's based on information that came out of Russia through the spiritual sciences. And they're still teaching it, and it's just slow coming out and slow getting into the data. So what we have here is this handout. It is to help process that there are bodies and the food we eat in this GMO. And then we'll move directly to the last half of it. It is how to grow the seeds that we're going to plant. How to grow the seeds in your hand before you sow them yourself. Or by doing this today, I hope you can change to the quantum consciousness of all of us involved here, and all of those involved in city issues who are online at the time, that we could create this change. And all it takes for me is if I can think it, feel it, believe it, anything is possible. It just takes the change of the mustard seed. If anyone knows that I know. And plus now, and I have been working on this morning, is asking the Creator to bring in the specific things that we need to get this job done. To make these changes, and for all of those of us that are ready to help with it. So if you here, and anyone out there struggling, this information will be on my website later. And if you want it, email me, if you have a website, email me, I will send it to you. I have copies of it. Anyway, while you're there, I want you to feel and notice the beings around you begin. I'm going to ask these teams to help with this. We have to change this within our systems and the planet. The first three statements, the first line that I'll be reading. I will read this out now. You can't really follow along and close your eyes and feel it. But the first three statements, I'll bring you into the field of the heart. Let yourself feel it. We in the group here and on my broadcast, but those that listen later will also magnify this word. I will read it out loud, and you can either read it out loud with me, or to yourself, or just close your eyes and feel it. Remember, it's a magnifying prayer. It's a whole prayer. I am Spirit. I am one with the Creator. My healing blesses all of creation. My intention is to bring my DNA to the standard that the Creator and I plan to have now. I go back in time to 1 hour for my first experience with GMO, including in utero. From that time and place, my system makes a different choice, which would not permit any directly to have a negative impact on my DNA, or in any way take me away from the creative standard of health for me. By taking the path, I obtain the potential of the present moment. By removing the cause of damage to my DNA, the effects of the GMO products that have been allowed to my system. I confirm my intention, which allow me to become the best health I could be, and achieve the creative standard of health. I allow an acceptance healing process to bring about immediate positive change. My heart fills with love and gratitude. Thank you. I am a spirit. I am one with the Creator. I came to serve the God of creation. Our intention is to bring all of the GMO seeds on this planet Earth into their original first state, as the Creator originally planned them to be now. We go back in time to 1 hour before the first seed on this planet was genetically modified. I find the original DNA and every seed that has been tampered with. I bring that DNA pattern to now. There is no deviation off of the creative path. We activate the original DNA into the seed that is to be planted on planet Earth from this point on. We confirm this intention to allow planet Earth to become the life-giving force the Creator has intended. we move forward into the now of our time, when we have the purity of our planet renewed. My heart fills with love and gratitude for all. Thank you. Take a moment to just feel it, and let the recalibration occur. What does that feel? The change in you. Now about the DNA that many of us start with, or hybrid, or selection of parents. It's a little history of how I take this on. I've been using a process for several years for clients, and of course myself, called the emotion code and the body code. It includes clear emotions that are trapped in the body. It keeps them moving forward. It's very simple. It's done with swiping your feet, swiping your body.
And from any time before our birth into now, including those traumas stored in the library of records of this galaxy. And I just and other galaxies. From my own stuff and my clients, I found that many of us have things happen. Everything we find ways to rationalize them, as we don't just have a reality in which to figure them out. For me, there was an internal terror that I tried to rationalize away with family problems. I've been married to a Vietnam veteran since 1969. There's been weird stuff happen in my life. So I thought, well, maybe it's just that, some terror. Or maybe I need a different set of supplements. Or more sleep. Or a different type of healing work. Or take another class. There's got to be an answer out there somewhere. I was looking everywhere for a solution, and then I just tried to push it away. We know how that works. It eventually comes up to be dealt with. What I found was I was being triggered by the darkness that has been on this planet and is unfolding in more ways every day. The religious wars combined with the governments all over our planet are creating a population of zombies that are under total control with fear. Also, there are so many people that are affected by the electromagnetics that we utilize daily, such as the Wi-Fi, our cell phones. Some are even triggered by the electric current that runs our appliances. Then you add to it the food systems that we've been eating, and then the air we breathe. I was mostly, for myself, experiencing a form of tremors within me. But shutting them down, not wanting to think I was crazy or sick, or just not wanting to know, because what if there really was something wrong? So I blocked it out for many years. This last year, I started having flashbacks and memories of being on the starships, to the point that I decided to have another hypnotherapy session, which I put off doing because that's what brought up all the stuff last year. So, once I scheduled it, I wanted to get to the bottom of what the real problem was that I was dealing with. It took 2 weeks to get scheduled. In that time, I was to be writing up notes and questions about what I wanted to look at. And I was thinking it was just about the flashbacks I was dealing with. So I started to write down all the questions for this lady to feed me during the therapy session, because that's how this form of hypnotherapy works. I get to direct what I get asked. I had quite a list, which we discussed then for some crazy reason. Sorry, I'm going too fast here. For some crazy reason, the first question that came up was, why wasn't I able to lose weight? I had tried everything I could think of. Neither of us saw the relevance of it, but she did as I asked. After she got me under, we talked about a few of the smaller items that I had on my list. And then she asked me, the question about not being able to lose weight. I felt the terror in me of such intensity that I could not move. And then I didn't feel it. I saw it. I also felt like I was failing my reason for coming here and choosing this job. The telepathy that was going on in this session was so fast. I felt like I was alone in this work, and on this planet, alone doing this work. And that the dark side was winning. They assured me that I was not alone, that I had a lot of others out there helping me with this. Then I saw the team there with me that actually did the DNA splicing with me from the Andromeda Galaxy and the Milky Way Galaxy. They had a look on their face that shocked me. Their mannerisms. They were surprised that this had actually happened. They thought they were using clean DNA. They had not understood how these emotions could be passed on in this manner for us. And they were upset and sorry and surprised how I was being affected by these memories of the trauma, of the multiple star systems DNA that I was carrying. Also, they knew that the rest of the volunteers with this program are going to be affected or are being affected on these various levels as I am. And I was still laying there shaking while all this information was coming to me. My hypnotherapist, of course, didn't know all that was going on because I couldn't verbalize it. It was happening so fast. Then I told her a little bit, and she asked them to start cleaning up the problems that was being created with me. I saw they couldn't do it all. It was too much at the moment. But they did start the process. And after a few days, I was feeling better. And then I started to think I was crazy. I made it all up. I was rationing myself out of a healing again. Really thinking that I couldn't be messed up that bad. But there is no coincidence. The old saying, healer, heal thyself, really is coming into play. I have to get cleared myself before I can help those others that are coming. It wasn't but 2 weeks later, I had a client come. I knew she had ET stuff going on in her family, so I decided to tell her my story. She made an interesting comment. I've learned to listen to your stories, Pat, and we both had a chuckle. Then, as I was describing to her this whole hypnotherapy session I had gone through, I noticed that she was also shaking. And we both knew that she too had been spliced in the same program. So I got her on the table and we started to work. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was told that she had been spliced in with 7 different star systems, with situations that needed to be dealt with. She told me some of the stuff that had been going on with her in her life. And she'd been a client for quite some time, so I did know a lot of her background and knew that that was part of this first that had to be cleared. Now remember, this isn't just DNA from one planet. This is DNA from the entire star system within our Milky Way galaxy. What I saw was the beings involved from that star system came into my room to help work with her. They were so gentle and how they came in. And they kept their energy nice so she could handle it. And then I watched as the work was being done. I did not do the work. I was asked just to hold different points on her body. Sometimes I would step in, or they would ask me to step in and hold different areas. Or sometimes they would just ask me to step out while they did the work. And what this first one that was being done on her was about, it was a form of rewiring and recalibrating her electromagnetic field. And it was interesting how I watched how it appeared to me like they were taking parts out of different, like the side of the leg or a rib or different areas, and they would be hooking up to these recalibration machines and working on her. There was a lot of beings doing this all over her, all at the same time. It was fun because I got to watch what was going on, but I could really see how she was shifting with it. Then when she was finished, she was a bit wiped out, but not to the point that she couldn't go back to work. And we knew that it would take 2 weeks for her to recalibrate for the session. So we made an appointment for 2 weeks later. This one was an even bigger awakening for us. And when a person comes in with this information, usually I've already been clear on what's going on with her or them before they get there, so that I don't jump into their stuff with them. This woman was extremely sensitive to the Wi-Fi. She had just been to a conference down in Denver where there was at least 300 people in the room, and 75% of them immediately opened their laptops, they walked in the door to start taking notes from the speaker. She got so sick she had to leave. So what I was shown with her, well, first of all, with her, a whole different team came in. Not the same ones that worked before, but a whole different group from this star system that was related to this stuff that was going on with her. And they were so gentle and apologetic for what had happened. And what happened was, in the star system, the DNA she was carrying, it was related to the electric wars. She was carrying the trauma within her body from the electric wars that went on in these other galaxies. Or not galaxies, but these other star systems. And I was assured that they were working with her, CTs that came in, would be working with her in complete truth, love, and gratitude from the Galactic Federation of Light. Because they were so concerned about this trauma that she was also dealing with. What I saw surprised me in how these electric wars affected the physical of a person. And not that I saw her specifically, but I saw what happens. It was a person being zapped with this, whatever type of ray gun it was, and the body started disintegrating so fast that the soul and spirit could hardly get out. And what I saw was the wispiness of one coming out so fractured. And then another body came out of the physical body, just as it was turning into ash. And it was blackened, totally blackened. And the soul and the spirit continued away from the body, and then it was beamed up into a ship, into a healing chamber. But they didn't understand what was going to be carried in the DNA from that. They just didn't understand how we on Earth DNA carries these traumas. So we did the, and again, I was directed to different parts of her body to work. And then she was pretty wiped out from that one. And then, excuse me, she went home. It took another 2 weeks for her to recalibrate. She came back, and the third session was still handled with the same grace and concern. And yet another set of star healers from that star system's DNA came to help. And they were so, this star system I was shown, how they were so sweet and loving, but they got caught in the path of an asteroid belt and blew up the planets. And again, it could have also been some more of the electric wars, I don't know. But the planet blew up. And me sitting there holding energy, I'm asking all kinds of questions. And one of them was, well, if the planet blew up, it's gone, it just disintegrated, how do they still have DNA to transfer that to someone?
And I was assured that the galaxy has quite a DNA storage bank. And then, after she was completed with that one, we still had time in our session. And there was a complete change out of Starbase into my workroom. So we were able to clear two situations that time. This fourth star system was also a very peaceful, loving planetary system that wasn't real evolved, but they didn't have weaponry, and they got caught in the crossfires again of the electric wars. So there was still another form of healing done on her related to that. And each time a different star system was being worked with, there was a complete changeover of the beings that came into the room to do the healing work. Each one of these was amazing with their love and care that was given to the client. And after each session, it has taken about 2 weeks for the recalibration to continue and to be ready for the next clearing. After each clearing of this lady, we both noticed how much stronger she was. Her health was improving. And she was capable of being more grounded at work, dealing better with her bosses and clients, standing up for herself. Her frequencies were leveling out at her higher caliber, and they were still changing. And then they never dropped. We have not been dropping below again. We're still continuing the process of these clearings, but holidays kind of got in the way. And then another friend came in for a session, not even related to any of the stuff that we could tell. And so I told her the story in the therapy session. And she started being nauseous, just sitting there listening to it. And she knew that she was also a part of this. Thank you, Phil. I just want to say this to you. Okay, good. I'm sure. Okay, thank you very much. So anyway, this lady could not schedule anything right away because of the holidays coming up and this other being done. As you can tell, this is really new information given before to work with very many people. And of course, there's only certain people that this is needed for. And for me, I get work done at night. Wait, did you say this? We'll see. Thank you. So I get work done at night in a variety of ways. And I set the intention at night for whatever needs to be cleared to be cleared. Because I don't have time during the day just to lay around and wait. So then I started wondering, how long is this going to take? How much of this do I really have to deal with? And I wish I hadn't asked that question. Because I got told, then I asked other people, because I didn't like what I heard, was that I have at least 150 different star systems DNA to clear. When I was told that, I started hyperventilating for quite a while, and it still kind of shocks me just to even think about that. But I know I have to do it, and I keep asking my teams to come in at night and help me and get it cleared as soon as possible. And I have noticed since then I'm able to handle being around crowds better. Before, I'd freak out in a crowd. I'd freak out going to a gym to work out. But now I can handle going to a gym and working with people there. And I started with a little bit of weight loss. So things were changing. So, yeah, finally. It was when this terror that was just holding everything so tight in me that I didn't realize it so much. And now I've been told that it's time for those of us that have the stargates in their systems, whether it's the star seeds or spliced in or some other form of hybridization, it's time to get it cleared. Because we have to hold these higher frequencies, not just jump into them once in a while when we have a session or while we're in a group like this.
We have to hold these higher systems all the time. These events give us a great taste of it. Or you go to a healer and they give you a great taste of feeling good for a while. But you've got to be able to hold it all the time. And it's about clearing our past. And that includes clearing this trauma that's held in our DNA. That's from our star ancestors. Before that, I was just carrying trauma held in the DNA from our Earth lives from people. And now, this is a whole new thing. Some of the ascension systems some of people are noticing are actually caused from the body attempting to move into the higher frequencies, but can't hold it due to these blockages. In order for us to hold the own frequencies, to not hold the planet back or our brothers and sisters back, we have to work on ourselves or have a qualified practitioner work on this. Reiki and human touch don't have that capability. Essential oils do help to a point. It's the quantum consciousness technologies that help with it. They're very helpful. You have to find a practitioner that knows how to hold these states of quantum consciousness in order to be able to work with ECTs to do this work. Because we don't do the work, they do. Some of these symptoms you'll notice are the victimhood, feelings of persecution, not knowing what you're running away from, the addictions, the alcohol, any of it. And this extreme terror to tell what it's from. It's not just here. So within the papers I have handed out, I have given everyone a gift certificate for a half-hour session so that we can find out if you are in the same point and need this help. And then I have this other package thing of the intergalactic healing journey to help people continue to clear as many as they can clear instead of just one session. Because with this, one session won't do it. I'll be giving a workshop at 11 in, I think it's that room, I'm not sure. And we'll also be working there on a new thing, our new star chakra system. When the humans were de-evolved years ago, it flipped the chakras to where the center of them is pointing to the front and back. That's not what I'm being told we need to do. We need to realign our chakra system and put it in a state of working in this portion field modality. And then if we have time, I will do a healing session on the group also, once we're all in that state. I will bring everyone into that state with the correct alignment for your chakras so you know what it feels like at any time for yourselves. What I do is I will just reach into my magic saddlebags and pull out what is going to help you the most. All done through the Creator in truth, love, and gratitude. Are there any questions? Yes. Yes.
Crystal like that.
Enough the vibration they need to be.
Can you repeat the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. She asked about the crystal light beds from Jonathan. And as you asked, I felt like they're not, most of them, in the 90% all of them, are not of the frequency they need to be. But if you get a worker that uses them, that knows how to do these activations with the crystals on it, you can raise the calibration of it. Because they were created so many years ago, and we've all changed. Yes?
Now, if I say a prayer for the GMOs, does that mean I can go, this is a joke, but then I can go out and have a Big Mac and a Coke and bless it? Because when Dr. Emoto would
Yes.
take water that was polluted and send love into it, it would change into a beautiful pattern from one that was terrible.
The question was about, it uses this prayer about the GMOs on food, like even a Big Mac and a Coke, would it change it enough to where you could eat it and be okay? Based on the information that Dr. Emoto says about buzzing of the water. And I feel like yes. We don't have to limit ourselves as to where we are with what we can get. Not everyone can afford to go to an organic store, and they're not always available at some of these small locations. We need to be able to work with what is in front of us at this time until it is all gone. So we have what we need. Okay, everyone. See you in the workshop.
Thank you very much to the Space Cowgirl. We give her another round of applause. Take a break and then have an incredible panel. Mark Reynolds, Barbara Reynolds, and Grant Gentry Hicks. We're going to do a little energetic activation and share some enlightenment with you. So please stay tuned out there in TV land, and we'll be back. You guys, Jenny, she may need to and you maybe should have read
Everybody.
Oh, thank you.
No, you know what? I'm so happy with this. I know it's mine. I was walking this buddy at lunch last night. I totally forgot my cell phone. Poor thing, it just froze. So it's like, I'm frozen, I'm mad. And it never did anything when I had this morning. It came back to life. And now I proceeded to, I have no idea. So I'm looking all over. You know what? I'm going to ask you after
I have my.
Oh, that is so funny. That is so funny. Look at this. This green is gorgeous.
Beautiful. How are you? Is your day gorgeous? It's such a beautiful day today. Thank you for saying it.
I love that. I love that.
I feel connected but so disconnected from this whole thing. I said I feel connected yet so disconnected from this whole thing.
You might be in.
So like I can't really. Thank you for doing that. I feel so visited. You know what?
Maybe next time.
I was told to Now this camera never goes this way, right?
Yeah.
It's not.
Thank you.
It's like you go to the street though, right? Okay, good, because I was trying to get out of your way. But the fan from the steam,
No, they just stay there.
because the fan is making too much noise.
What?
Fan
Good fan.
from here, where I had it. And trust me, we'll have better cameras, better sound, everything. Because I feel like the doorways opened up for us to get this opportunity. So it's worth something good.
So different. Well, I mean, it's gold shiny. It's gold shiny.
Hi. Hi, beautiful lady. How are you guys?
Awesome. Okay. Talk to you.
Well, it's either the other time.
Yes. Okay, please. Please.
For your anniversary. Please.
Whose anniversary?
Yours. 20 years next year.
Huh?
20 years next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love you. You didn't see all the comments that came in when you waved hi to them?
I was sitting over there. They just talking.
Oh my gosh, these people tell me the most amazing stuff. Yes, it's so enlightening.
All right.
Money, money, money. Where'd you put my stuff? Oh, thank you. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. So what I'm Barbara.
How much you got? Gonna behave like good little like it's Executive producer says. Right.
I know, but don't feel like it's I just want you to know. I just feel like. Where am I not? You know? But I still like to.
There he is. The leader of the band. Hey, sit over here. Or realize it's coming.
So we can do this.
For the drummers and the singers, please. Thank you so much. For those of you just tuning in right now, we are at the 2015
Darnall Conference in Estes Park. It's the third day of this beautiful ceremony. You go.
Yes. What's that? Oh, okay.
So, Chico Mayo has a message he'd like to share at this time. I also want to just mention while we have a moment downtime, if anybody has any messages for people in the room, anything they'd like to share, or any messages for people online, if you can come up to me and let me know. This is an open platform here, so anything you feel inspired to speak and share with everyone, please let me know. And we can do that between the break. So this is Chief Goldmighty.
Okay, this is really important, but enough importance to be shared. You know, a lot of people come to Sweat Lodge for the first time, and we kind of like just feel that everybody's been there, you know, for a lot of years or whatever. But some people come in clothing, and different types of clothing, and when it gets wet, it kind of shrinks. So I have to inform you that sometimes that happens. So like Euclala went in there last night, a whole bunch of eagle feathers, all and I kind of shrunk up. Make sure you have the right stuff in the house.
Thank you, Chloe. It was beautiful. We had a Sweat Lodge last night. It was just unbelievable. Thank you. Okay, so we have a wonderful panel right now. Three beautiful people that would like to share an energy activation, and Grant Gentry Hicks, who is a mystical healer, is working in new paradigms of multidimensional healing and messages. He has created this incredible multidimensional energy deck that he works with, among other things. He's a Heyoka energy master, as far as I'm concerned, and playful, lovely heart. So he has a lot to share and a lot to bring in terms of the messages we're sharing at this time. And Barbara Reynolds is a spiritual guide, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. She has the ability to see what's happening energetically in the body, and then works with individuals to transform patterns that are no longer serving their higher purpose. So she does energy work with body systems and light spirit. And Mark Reynolds, her partner, helps to lead activation groups, envisioning weekends and these journeys to activate the earth. So he has the unique ability to present big universal spiritual laws in a way that's easily received. And he will share a little bit more information about himself. So I'd like to actually pass the mic to each one of them and just talk a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what you'd like to share with everyone. And our friends online, this charming little camera up here, our internet connection to the universe. So everybody that's listening online, welcome again. So if you can just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then I'm going to pass it over to Marilee. And they also have been informed that they're going to do an activation this morning together, collectively. And then we'll have some questions. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Hey everybody. Hey. Really great to be here. I'm Grant, and I do soul healing work with people, bringing their souls deeper into their bodies. And I help them connect to visible dimensions that they haven't been accessed to, bringing their gifts. And I feel like the soul integration work is really exciting. A lot of people in the lost don't have their souls fully in their bodies, so we need to be integrated. So I do my part. I live in Kansas City, work at Transmitting 12 Center, to treat people there.
Thank you. My name is Barbara Reynolds. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much for inviting us. I started my journey in 1996 when I was working pretty dramatically. When I was in the breast session, Native American stepped into my body and started speaking to me. At the time, I was working at Delta Airlines. I was in Military 3. I was doing home other things, and so it rocked my world, needless to say. So I've been on my path ever since. They've been speaking in my head. In 2004, I started to get symbols. That's my arm. But what keeps coming up over and over, activate that which is dormant. activate that which is dormant. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And they're like, we have whatever we need within inside of us. As you activate the earth, you activate yourself. As you activate others, you activate the earth. And it's been so comforting to be here because Mark and I, for a while, felt really alone on our path. But listening to the amazing speakers here, everybody is basically saying the same thing. We all are divine light. We've just forgotten it. So how do we activate that light within us, our own divinity? And as we do that, we do it for others, and we hold that space for others to do the same. So that's what we do collectively. So Mark and I do activation work with groups, with each other. We go to different places. We've traveled internationally and activated different portals within the earth because the earth holds it within its crystalline structure. So as we move into a resonant field, where we're vibrating at that frequency, and we share that with the earth, she responds to us. She reminds us who we are. And when it comes right down to one message that I've received is that the choice is ours. We can either choose to live in love and harmony, or we can choose to live in fear. And when they say it's a practice and it's a discipline, that's our discipline. Our discipline is any given moment, and in every given moment, we can choose how we want to live, how we want to vibrate. We need to manage our own fields and be that love and that light for not only ourselves, but for each other, and mirror that in each other. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Mark Reynolds. Just a little bit about me. I'm the weird one in the group. I'm the systems analyst. 34 years dealing with computers and databases and networks. So naturally, I tend to look at real-world applications and trying to figure out where in all of our gifts and practices do our beliefs actually, where does the rubber meet the road? Where does that actually become applied in our real lives? Things like, obviously, all you have to do is look at the news. We're being presented with a choice as to what kind of world do we want to live in. We want to live in one where the walls are built higher, the trenches are built wider, the moats are deeper. Is that where we choose to live? Or do we want to live in a place where we can actually give up this zero-sum game that we've been living in since time immemorial? We go back to the ancient Sumerian texts. It's my God is right, my life is correct, my beliefs are the way that you should be. If you're not, then you're wrong. It's that type of attitude, that type of approach to life that I think we're being asked to decide, do we want to change? And I was watching a video from Chief Golden Light Eagle, and he mentioned about the white buffalo cattle, and I obviously had to investigate and find out what was going on there. And what I find interesting is in the video he mentioned men, we had to put the eagles aside, and we had to work deep with them. And in my analytical mind, I try to say, well, what does that really mean in the day-to-day? And my thinking is that means we have to give up the my way or the highway type approach to life. We have to start looking for ways that we can all win. At the same time, I don't have to sell high and you don't have to buy low. I don't have to have the right God and you follow. We can all find our ways. All we have to do, and thank goodness for the Native Americans because they show us, all you have to do is look at the flowers. How many thousands of types of flowers are there in the world? And yet there's one God and he decides there's one way to worship. And yet all of these flowers, all of these trees, all of the butterflies, the animal kingdom, they all show the glory of Creator in their own way. And yet somehow the human race is supposed to be. I'm sorry. I think we need to think differently. So my forte is trying to bring what we do as a group and the energies and the special gifts that we all bring and apply them to real world situations. So thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. So this time, they've requested they'd like to do a group activation.
Okay, so if you guys are willing and if you'd like to receive, what we all of us here work with multidimensional energies. And at this time, there's been so many amazing frequencies that are being offered from the fifth dimension, from the higher elements. It's all here now. It really is the time of the ages. And we've been here long enough in this weekend creating this amazing sacred space that I think we're all primed and ready and open for that. So what we're doing is we're creating a sacred space. We're calling in our guides, our teachers, the angels, the ascended masters, who can guide us through this. So everybody take a deep breath. Connect all the way down into our blessed Mother Earth. We're asking that all of our chakras are aligned and clear. Everybody take a deep breath. We're creating a sacred space to open our hearts. Through these open hearts, we're connecting with each one of you. And through our open hearts, we create a resonant field of high vibrational light. So we're calling them the guides and teachers, the ascended masters, to help guide us. We're asking that each one of us receive the frequencies that are being offered, that are comfortable to receive within these physical bodies. As we raise the vibration within these physical bodies, it helps to clear any cellular memory that no longer serves us for the highest vibration, the highest light, the highest good. So we're opening up all the way through our crown chakra, all the way up to the soul star, up into the central sun, and receiving, asking to receive the codes that are being offered now through our open hearts. And as we receive them through our open hearts in this resonant field, we're also sharing them with the earth. Breathe this light through. Breathe these light flows completely into your body. We're asking them to be calibrated gently and gracefully within these physical bodies. As we feel this light moving through our hearts, through our bodies, we actualize it into our physical body. It is possible to embody this much light and to share it with others. Through our connected hearts and creative view greater than ourselves, we access realms greater than ourselves. That mirrors back who we are and why we are here. I remember. So we're asking you to come fully back in, present within beings as a promise, carrying with us these calculated codes of light. And we consciously, with intent, share this with the earth, and we feel the earth come alive beneath us. We activate the earth and memory of the earth to support us. This is our home planet. We're so grateful. We're coming gently and gracefully back to the so very slowly start to we're so thankful for this opportunity. Back. It looks as if the room is back. We will make sure that you're all focused and ready to listen to the dynamics of these people. We have collected a few questions that we thought we'd ask, and they're basically having to do with ancestors. So the first question is the messages from ancestors that you think of them that you would be willing to share at this point.
My blood lineage is Native American lost because we had to hide in shame to try to pass as white. And a lot of Irish background, some English. And the Irish and the Native American ancestors messaging for me is a lot of, we want our culture, we want to have life. Why can't we have some life? Is it fun to have some life? Let's see what you got. You fit the have some fun. You want to have some life. Oh, we have to hold our bodies very stiffly. Be so serious and civilized. My ancestors did not care about that. They were trying to get away from that as much as they could and try to find their ancestors are always reminding. We knew what freedom was on this planet. Have life, celebration together, to have open love with the ones around us, take care of each other, not have a so separated little boxes and snippets. So the ancestors might want you to remind the deep shame that's been put on our bodies to make us feel bad about having so much life, just getting so much trouble because we're excited and want to have life. Well, I want to have life, and so do mine.
When I first started to awaken, I went to talk to my dad about it. My dad was an engineer. He put the rover, the lunar rover on the moon. So he was very logical and very stern. And so when I told him one night, we had a really deep connection. I said, Dad, I'm seeing things, and I'm hearing things, and there's blue beams in my room. And he said, doll? He said, do you know, you ever wonder why sometimes I dream? And I said, no. He told me this at the Christmas table on Christmas Eve. The whole family's that way. He sat down. He looks over at me and he said, I've heard voices in my head my entire life. He said, but in my generation, they would have locked me up. Yeah. He said, my grandmother came one day and said, you have the gift. My grandmother, his grandmother, says my grandmother had the gift. She was a healer. She helped birthing. So anyway, that was my dad, who I thought this was like the biggest thing for me to actually share this with him. That he said, you know what? I have that too. It runs in my family. So I know that not only does it run through my bloodlines, I know that I also do have ancestors in the stars. And they have come to visit me, and it's taken me a while to kind of balance that, like who am I and where am I? But I have many ancestors from many places. And one thing that they always tell me, no matter what, is they are always here for us, no matter what. The grandmothers are here, the grandfathers are here. And not only can we access that lineage, we can affect the lineage in both directions. So as we heal ourselves, we heal our lineage, our heredity in both ways. And so that's what I've heard from our ancestors, is that they are always with us.
I find it interesting that this circle of time, we seem to be coming back nowadays to a period where we're learning the old ways, the old standards are actually helpful for us. Putting microbeads in face scrub probably isn't the best idea because it's in places we don't want microbeads. Messing around with our food supply via GMOs, as was talked about just a minute ago, we probably don't want that. So we're finding out the old ways of eating healthy, non-adulterated food, water that's clean and pure. These are actually good things, and we're finding, albeit missteps along the way, that there, as we are learning, balance. There's a balance with technology, a balance with the old ways. And it's learning how to walk that line between, gee, isn't it great we can pull out our phones, connect to the internet, but yet also be able to know that the water we're drinking, food we're consuming is healthy. And it's healthy for our children, for future generations. And we're all going to be able to enjoy the beautiful mountains in the future. So we're learning, and our ancestors are actually trying to prod us that they weren't the simpletons that sometimes history makes them out to be. That the old ways do have value, and if we're willing to spend just a few minutes to examine it, we will see applicability today. And once again, dropping like gee, everything should make sense today as well as it did yesterday. So I thank you, sir, for being willing to show us that there are old ways that we can still apply. And I think we can do it.
The beauty of panels, as we know, is that they automatically flowed into and spoke the next question. So I'm going to skip to the third question. It's beautiful. In your listening to the stars, and you're listening to the stars, what kinds of messages are you receiving? And a little bit about history of how you came to recognize that those messages were from the stars.
I've always had a connection with the stars when I was a little kid. I knew about hyperspace and force fields and interdimensional travel when I was a little boy. I thought that everybody thought that was normal. When I started getting, I want to say dreams or intuition, a lot more was going on. Realized I've encountered many different beings in many different ways, both below and above. And specifically that the big message where they were saying, okay, we got it all, it's ready, this is what can definitely be shared with everybody, was that there was one night where I was out in the backyard, and there was a star in the sky, it was getting really dim, and really bright. I was like, well, that's what stars do, and I was just trying to, but then I suddenly felt the sync up, and I hear them, I knew them. I was like, oh, I know they're connected to me. And I was like, take me over the ship, I'm ready to go. I was going to see. And they said, if you could see what we see through your eyes, you would never want to be. This is the paradise of the universe. This is meant to contain every single life form throughout the whole universe here in living form. The galactic beings, we are amongst many, the cosmic intergalactic realms represented through the insect kingdoms, and every single living consciousness in the whole universe is actually here, and we're in a treasure. This is meant to be a paradise. Travel these intergalactic. Take me 3 generations to go see your people. We're all being embodied here on the planet together, so that we can all talk to each other, so we can be together. And they wanted just to remind the magnificence of the paradise that we're really living in. Once people start waking up to that, we'll recognize our role as stewards. That the animals and the insects and the plants and start, everybody else is just waiting for us. They're just waiting for us to get it, because we're like adolescents, kind of going, oh, there's other beings. I'm not alone. And waking up into that, so the more that connects together, the more we will collectively realize the one field and be able to manifest here in the kingdom.
Let's see, the one message, the most important message from the stars is that we all have them within us. All the galaxies, all the light, it's all within us. And when I first heard that, it was such a hard thing to kind of, wait, what? Because we reach out, and that's part of being human. We seek, we reach out. Well, like it's right here. We could mirror it for you. We could mirror it. It is fighting it here. And within all it takes, and what they always tell me is that the concepts are very simple. They might not be easy, but they're very simple. And we get lost so easily that just with some intent, with some conscious intent, we can bring those star beings, our ancestors, here now, within our physical bodies. They speak with us. They're here now. So the biggest message that I've had, because I've been seeking a long time, is that, which I know all of us have, it's all within us. And I remember someone said to me, you have the galaxy within you. I'm like, what? How can that be? It's that concept that anything that's held in a grain of sand is also within you. It's the same size. There's size. There is no size. There is no time. It's all timeless. Through our three-dimensional bodies, we're bringing it forth and we're projecting it here through this physical place, but we are timeless beings in a physical body. So we're embodying that. That's our gift. We embody that here now. Everything that's ever gone before and everything that's ever to come is available to us right now. This takes choosing to do that.
When I think of scar people, guides and teachers trying to assist us on the path, I try to remind myself that if I was to go back 200 years and show folks this and say, oh man, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, I can talk to somebody on the other side of the world, I can look up information on fingertip. Well, they look at me and they wouldn't know what I was talking about. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's information, because this doesn't work without the information of knowing about electrons, without knowing about electricity, the power of this device. It doesn't work without knowing and having a grasp of resistors, capacitors, protocols for cell phones to be able to communicate. All of those things have to be in place before this makes sense. And so if I was to try to tell somebody 200 years ago, this is the great, basically I'd end up having to say it's a box that talks. And that they do, because if I try to explain resistors, well, I sometimes think that our guides and teachers and the people from planetary systems, they're trying to give us information. And I tell myself, they're walking back to their council saying, for Christ's sake, I had to tell them it was a box. You know, they have so much information they want to give us. However, my limitations in my human form, it's a step at a time, precept upon precept, line upon line. And so I'm just grateful that they have the patience to be able to say, he'll eventually get it, but we have to, it's a box. So I am very grateful for that, because I think that's their difficulty, is being able to get across that information, but that we can understand it here. And I'm thankful for that. It should say,
I created these stories bring to mind a brief one of mine I'm going to share right now, because when I first recognized starry visitors, I had all kinds of things going on. But I would lay in the front yard, looking up at the stars. Venus was there, and so you're going to do starlight, starbright, or starry scene tonight. And the message came in that all my family would join me in heaven. And I was told at that time not to wish for anything. That was the first message. I was about 8. I didn't know what was going on, but it sounded good to me at the time, and it's been an ongoing adventure of visiting and learning. And it's a good thing. It's really good. We're going to talk just a little bit about the spirit messages, which, when you're getting messages from your starry visitors, you can identify the difference between spirit messages and starry visitor messages. Some people can, some people can't. And if they do have difference in that interpretation, what is it and how do you create that different connection?
I want to say that the sense of it being different, the same thing depends on where you're at. At the beginning, when you're in your small, separated self, that it seems like they're different, you're far away. The spirit is a big somehow connected. But then the further in the process, it's like, oh, they're actually my future selves remembering themselves through me, and that they're actually me, and the spirit, oh, that's actually me. Oh, that, not me, but oh, we. And so the sense of the more that we get collectively identified, the more it starts to be no different. There's no difference between me or we're all in the spirit world. But I do want to say that for a lot of people, at the beginning, they're going to try to get a message. Well, who are my guides? A lot of people are going with this. I did it, but you want to go try to get it out there or up in my head somewhere. Your eyes are up, because it seems like the stars are up. But the stars are down, around, there's no correct, it's just an illusion that they're actually up. And that we know at the center, in our heart, where we're connected, we're the bridge between the heavens and the earth. That the messages are very simple. Love is, and the Spirit speaks through this, no problem. There's no shortage of wisdom in the heart, there's no shortage, it's not reduced, it's actually that which makes all other languages possible to be understood. And so I feel like trying to make the difference, if you need that, to start within your heart. And there's where the Spirit message, and then from there, you might have a dream, something might happen where you get a visitation, then you'll know that, oh, it will be. So, I keep feeling about this light. I don't know why I told you to say it. I want you to say that in my experience about it, one of the integrating feelings was bringing the light through my body. And that when that would happen, the energy charge just connecting to those around me, that really would make it no different. In that oneness of bringing the energy through and be the other vessel of that light, there's no way to discern. And that experience of bringing the energy makes it like, oh, did they say, did I get the right message? Am I doing the right thing? Am I listening? And it wants to be like, we're here! So I always want to bring that.
That's great. I totally agree. And I know we do have those moments where we feel the I and we, it's all the same. But sometimes I feel like I'm in kindergarten, and sometimes with the people that I'm working with, we being in human form, we do need some structure. And I know I've had clients before, they go, Barbara, I don't get what you're saying. You need to tell me step 1, you need to tell me step 2, you need to tell me step 3. So I'm like, okay, so we've been learning that, which Mark, the systems analyst, Maya helps me with all the time. So, yes, I totally agree. We're all one, we're all we. But as we come here, and as we're connecting with the question is, how do you discern the difference between spirit or star people? There's all kinds of great information out there about you can do ceremony, and it's all guided by what's within here. But if you're choosing to connect with the Arcturians, the different places, or if you're choosing to actually know where you've come from, you can ask for that frequency, because it's all frequency. So you can tune into the frequency of that planetary system, and you can embody it, and then ask for them to connect with it. And then that's how I do it. I find it the most useful. Is then I could tune into that frequency. The angelic realm has a different frequency, and you can ask, and you can work with the angels. Claudia does so well, and you can move into their frequencies. There's exercises and meditations that you can do to. It's just with intent and embodying their frequency. And many times, as we all know, beings will just show up in your bedroom without you actually asking for them to be there. And then that's you're like, okay, who are you and where are you from? And yes, let me align with that frequency, and I'm asking you to be calibrated to your frequency gently and gracefully so that we can communicate. So I ask them to help me with that, help me to move into your frequency. So that's the way I do it.
At the risk of making everybody think they've signed up for computer class, when I think about messages, it boils down to protocols of how computers talk to each other. And when I first started out in the business, there were two ways: asynchronous and bisynchronous communication. That was the only way the computers could talk. Now there's take a pick. But it's based on what do you understand from that transmitting source. If I hook up a computer that doesn't understand the way the remote computer's talking, it's useless. It ain't going to happen. Same thing here. I resonate with certain things, and I understand the protocol of that frequency that I'm getting from them. Maybe we did something totally different, but that's the protocol that she receives. When the drummers start doing their drumming, it's an immediate effect on me. I can feel that energy immediately ramp up, and it affects me. I'm resonating with that energy level, that protocol that they've initiated. Else might be talking about when people visit and they resonate and they're able to understand that protocol, which may go with my head. But it doesn't mean we're any less. It means what we're able to do is communicate differently, we're able to receive information differently. The key is, are we open enough to be able to share what we individually are able to pick up on? And that's the blessing to it, is that we don't all have to continue tuned in at the same time.
Well, yeah, we need to talk about workshops quickly. We're in 5-minute mode.
I have a workshop at 3 o'clock. I'd like to connect all the ones who want to really connect with the frequencies, with the toning and chanting and do some magical language, and have a chance to connect our bodies and work together better.
Mark and I are doing a group activation. We recently went to Lake Titicaca, the island of the sun. There was receiving some calibration there about balancing the feminine, embodying light and bridging the world. So we're going to be doing a group activation then, bringing in those light codes that we received to activate the light codes in all of us.
It's fun.
Oh, it's fun. I think that'll do it. Let's give a good hand for all.
Thank you so much for these messages. It's incredible how it's coming through with everyone. And it's really beautiful. Thank you for the activation also. Mark Reynolds, Sue Reynolds, and Grant Gentry, and Marilee Clark also. So thank you. So if you're still here, if you could stay in the room for a moment. I intuited that there's some very important messages coming through right now for all of us. And I just want to share what is so incredible that we're seeing here on this stage is multi-dimensionality, multi-races, multi-energies, angels, people channeling, light language, star systems, artistic formations, ancient cultures, modern wisdom, technology, systematics. I mean, this is phenomenal. When you think about what this conference brings together, all these various, extremely diverse cultures, races, peoples. If you look at the drum circle and the singers, look at these beautiful people. They are carrying all the dynamics of their culture, their ancestors, very proudly. I feel French, European, native cultures, everything. And the people that were here, it manifests in many forms. Sasquatch energies, earth elementals, you know, people that are working with the star systems. You know, we're here embodied in form. I identify with some, other people do with others. Some are fully activated here, some are just speaking the language, some don't speak it at all. Angel codes, everything. So I just want to acknowledge everyone's vibration of openness and harmony. So thank you for all of you for bringing your tribes back to the system of working together. So thank you so much. I'd like to request at this time that you Paula come to the stage, and if you could welcome them for the drums, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
The magnificence of this moment, the energy that is rising, the beauty of what is outside. Each one of you is mirroring what is being stimulated. We are being motivated by what is outside on this planet Earth. What you are hearing, and those of you that are in live stream, we touch with you in such a powerful vibrational way. Those of you that are present right here, the intensity of what you have stirred, and how each one of you with your own specific talent and gifting have collectively brought forth news and information that is definitely going to affect every single one of us here as we step off this sacred temple of the mountains. And for those of you that are in this through live stream, you are definitely a part of this moment. And this moment means that for what is here, you are also a part of. What you have heard, the beauty of this, the diversity of it, the panels that you've seen, the individuals that have rose to their glory and their giftings as divine by this divine creator source. Listen to what your heart is saying, not of what I am saying. Allow for what has been stirred by the voices, the vibrations, the movements, the colors, to be brought in through what is the most magnificent gift from this source, and that is heart. Let all that you have heard go through the heart's sieve. Once it does so, the sacred emollient that is brought forth then is yours specifically and dedicated each one of you individually, so that with this knowing, you will step in the way that is good. These moments, it is important, and we have shared this with many, many of the carriers that have been present here in this sacred time, on this sacred mountain. And that is to be able to allow for the vibrations of what comes forth from here to be shared with all that is creation and with you that is listening within this live stream. Know you are an important part of the equation. For you to hear the various ways and the various views of one subject, and that is spirituality, you now have no excuses to be able to say, I don't know. You know. And that is why with all that you are seeing, every shape, every color, every walk, every philosophy has been brought to you, so that now you know that in this day, this next heartbeat, you are required by the essence of the divine to be able to embrace it, so then again you can step in the way that is good. It is not appropriate to make and call names. For it is simply said, let the essence of what this energy has said awaken within me. If I do not resonate with this energy, let me then resonate with this one, because it seems to be the closest to me visually, vibrationally. Or perhaps it is here where I have no sense of what is this, the ethereal, but I have a sense of knowing that if I move my muscles forward, I will take a step. But all of these are the various ways in which each one of you is going to take of the messages that are given you today to be able to do the things that is being asked of you by this divine creator source. The essence and the beauty and the divinations that have been given within these last 2 days, and you are aware of it, those that are present. But as you've done so, you have been here to be in the guide, watch, and the sacred carrying of space for every one of you that is out there live streaming with us today. I will share with you the fact that the beauty of the creations that were all in the woods peering out and watching every single one of us, how we reacted, what we did in accordance to that spiritual divination, and how we then embodied every single one of you that is watching us through imagery. We were there for you. We stepped onto that view. But each one of us represents all the variety and the variations and the uniqueness of what is this sacredness of Mother Earth and all its inhabitants. The inhabitants is inclusive beyond the silhouette of the two-legged, and is embraced by the essence of the four-legged, the tree people, rock people, cloud people. All, let this chill you to the heart. For you, if you resonate with that, and you should, if you are blinded by that, please step outside. When you step outside, just open your heart and say, I don't know, I don't believe, I don't care, but just stand there and allow for what's going to come through awakening. If you do not open, then remember the divine that is there knows you so intimately, though you may have distanced from this connection. Let the moment awaken. reawakened back to this. On this third day of all of you here, it is important for you to know this, that with the elements of clearing and purification by the crystalline people of snow yesterday and the day before, we were clear. The magnificence of the four-leggeds that all came in to gather and allowed for us to see them. They said, you are doing well. But now, at the rise of the sun this morning, completely of clarity, we're all going to go off this sacred mountain, this sacred temple, this sacred time, down this back into the world again. But we're given the divination that we shall do it, and do it in the best way possible. What you came in as through these doors 2 days ago, you are not anymore. For those of you that have joined us at any moment, perhaps not all of it, but whatever moment it was, it is the door for you to be able to step in and listen and absorb and embrace with the heart. Once you do so, step out and do of what this divine channeling vibration frequency is. The languages that we speak are not able to bring full comprehension of what is happening. That is why let the communications broaden so that we begin to understand what our four-leggeds are saying, what our tree peoples are saying, what the snowflakes are saying, the clouds, the rock people, all of them are saying. And please step away. We are but the smallest. And for what we are, we mirror all that is there. And therefore, let us take the time to let them infuse into us. As they do so, give the gratitude and the reverence for what they are doing for you. And speak of all that is creation. Not of you, of what you are doing in this journey. For that master medicine being is that grandfather, grandmother elk that was down there in the pastures. They look up at us and saying, we give you the reverence to raise our heads to you. But whether you know the importance of that or not, it is up to you to be able to accept it or not. Creator Source, we are so much gratitude. The building that is this is now being moved. And as I step off this sacred mountain, let me emanate, radiate, and embody the essence of what is this creation, divine creator source. Blessings.
Thank you so much for that message, Paula. It's beautiful. We constantly need to activate each other and energize each other and keep our spirits up and strong. And Marilyn Clark, who is also emceeing together and support with me, has another message very briefly. Thank you.
Yes, you may notice little plants like this throughout the area. They're from my grandmother plant. She's 70 years old. She has babies left and right, and she lets me out of the house. So I brought many pots, which you'll find hither and yon around. It's not the bamboos, they were here when I got here. It's these little spider plants. And you're welcome, if you resonate with one, to have one if you would, please. Thank you very much. I also have the salve that many of you have come to know and understand. And Barbara's got that on her table. Thank you very much for that. And the document that talks about that being dream and prayer time salve. So if you have interest in that, that's donations too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. lot of people talking about it. I use pretty regularly. You can use it on anything. It's incredible material, so go check it out. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and we'll have Granddaughter Pro come up and speak next. So get up, walk around, stretch, breathe, look outside. Next time, go outside and enjoy. We'll be with you shortly. Oh, sorry. Oh, you can do some on the sides.
Oh, I love you and all of
Yes, that feels good.
I got sushi.
Yes, yeah, this one's the live stream.
Yes.
Oh, dude, could you have that?
No, not at all.
Let's go back by
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maybe it gets
Oh.
I actually
He's going to be the giant.
Oh, where's mine? Oh, what am I doing? I've got it in my. Thank you. I get to listen to it too, so I'm excited.
I just went to yesterday.
Oh, man. Oh, okay.
Are you ready?
We were born ready. That's the
Andy over there?
Yes, we were. Well, I'm not.
Enjoy the book. They've changed it a lot. People that read it. It's broken.
Thank you so much.
nurses and physicians, because these staff, they want the laborers to feel comfortable. They say, listen, you're.
I'm gonna get the drummers to
Stress, stuff, pressure,
Thank you.
Roll. What a good picture of that here. I need one for my dartboard. Even maybe.
All right.
that calling back song. So you're calling our tribe, calling everyone together. And it's beautiful what you Paula was sharing recently about all the integration of all these cultures and tribes and people, and yourself, reintegrating and remembering things within yourself. And our next speaker, Granddaughter Crow, does just that. She worked for many years in corporate America, as many of us have done, in the square boxes with the little cubes, with the computer screens, and the 500 emails a day. Very matrix article. And obviously felt intuited to follow her heart and her calling and her wisdom. So she is a wonderful integrator of holistic integration of synthesizing all the wisdoms of her ancestry and the messages that she's receiving at this time. And Dr. Joy is her birth name, and received the spirit name Granddaughter Crow. And she was born an empath and comes from a long lineage of spiritual leaders with the esoteric wisdoms. She's a member of the Navajo Nation and also the Dutch heritage, so she does a lot of personal cultural integration even within her personal body system and atomic structures. And I'd like to bring her to the stage now, Granddaughter Crow. Thank you. Well done.
Yeah, feel free to do what you gotta.
Just hold it. Just hold it. Yeah.
It's easier that way. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's do it again. Yad eh. Yad eh. That is welcome in Navajo. So yes, I am born to the Bilagana clan or the Tlachini clan. This means my mother is full-blood Dutch. She is white as white can be, cannot go in the sun. My father, full-blood Navajo. English is his second language. I honor these two as my heritage. What this has created is a very interesting dynamic of, we'll call it right and left brain. The left brain, highly intellectual as far as, in all of us, logic, reasoning, systems, language. The Navajo side of me is like the right brain. Very pictures, sound, intuition. It does not speak English. I love being here, and I honor each and every one of you, as you are an authentic expression of the divine itself. And I am here to see this in you. We are up on this mountain together. We are all here together, even if you are on web stream. What I would say is that after this conference, we need to be able to synthesize this phenomenon and allow it to become alive in our beings so that we can continue to unfold, so that the divine can continue to unfold within us. My doctorate is in organizational development and leadership. I study leadership. There are as many leaders in this world, the types of leaders in this world, as there are people, as there are trees, as there are the Four Lands, the Water Nations, all of them. Here, what we're looking at is a leader. I am looking at leaders. In fact, it's almost like I want to jump off this stage and sit and look at you guys. I'm looking at leaders. This leadership that is coming through, you are here for a reason. In this moment, in this space, in this time, I draw a circle around this space, around this time, around this energy, and I declare it's sacred. We are in a sacred space. We are in a sacred time. In this sacred space and in this sacred time, we are going to talk a little bit about holistic integration. Holistic. Why? Because we are forerunners. We are leaders. We need, and I'm going to say this, we have, if you wish, a responsibility to carry this assimilated vibration to others. So, yeah, I kind of raised the bar there a little bit. That's okay. If you couldn't handle it, you wouldn't be here. Energy. All is energy. My degree is not in science, but I do know that that is a scientific fact. And when I speak about all is energy, I'm talking about physical energy. I'm talking about emotional energy. I'm talking about mental energy. I'm talking about spiritual energy. I'm talking about star energy. I'm talking about everything is energy. It's a very simple, but not easy, way to look at it. So when we talk about all is energy, then we start realizing, whoa, okay, how am I perceiving this energy? I need to get to know this conduit. I need to get to know this authentic being. I'm saying that for you too. Know thyself. Know thyself. I honor and see the authentic, divine expression of the divine within each of you. If I embrace, because let me tell you, when I was a little girl, I would walk down the street with my father. I don't look like my father. I will walk down the street with my mother. I don't look like my mother. So I'm about, I don't know, 12 years old, and you start getting that, oh wait, I think I have an ego, you know? Who am I? Hey, is it okay if I'm here? This type of thing. I wanted to wear a t-shirt. I'm not adopted. These are my parents. I'm serious. And then I started thinking, wait a second. Do I belong to them? But then I have a brother that I look like, and a sister that I look like too. But what I'm saying is that those moments when I was a child, I was afraid of my difference. I wanted to hide it. I was a very, still am, deep thinker, deep feeler. And I would scare people. You know, I don't think that my story is probably unlike all of you, the differences. And then, as I got older, I began to say, wait a second, what kind of world would it be if we all embraced our authenticity? Not necessarily differences, but our authenticity. Then I would be able to look at each of you and go, whoa. So that's what I did. I switched my perception, and I see authentic divine. And I'm asking you, I'm inviting you, bring it, please. The world is asking you, the universe is asking you, I am asking you. Be that authentic expression. I want to talk a little bit about language. So, I haven't done my research. However, this is a theory. There could be research out there. That's my doctor side. So I never mind that part. So I didn't do my research. But what I believe is our language is a direct reflection of the mental path codes that flow in the way that we think. Why do I think like this, and why am I bringing it up? My father, he's a translator. He translates many things. Navajo, English, Navajo, back and forth. I said, Father, how is that? And he said, it's hard being a bridge. I said, why? Tell me. He says like this. English thinkers think in labels. We name things. We name them. We take them apart in order to analyze them. And then we believe that we understand. This is very scientific. This is very left brain. Navajo language, it describes things. It doesn't have names for things as much. It didn't traditionally. It would give a description about what it is. So in that, and it would see everything as relationship two. So you are my brothers, you are my sisters, you may be my mom and dad too. You may be my grandmother and grandfather because I have a granddaughter from some. So I said, okay, Dad, what does that look like? He said, if you put an English speaker, thinker, in front of a tree, and you say, get to know that tree, this individual would say, okay, let's do this. That's a trunk. Branches, they're separating things, analyzing, leaf, labeling it. Okay, and I'm going to call this a birch tree. Okay, now I know the tree. Yay! You put a Navajo in front of a tree, a Navajo thinker. Put them in front of a tree. You say, get to know this tree. And Navajo will go, wow. It sees the whole thing. It sees this organism. And then it says, oh, the wind is moving this tree. Wow. The wind is moving my hair in the same pattern. I am one with the tree because something is connecting us. I know the tree. So that when you call us folk on, talk to these things. Don't expect them to speak English. So since we're talking about trees, I would like to invite you to join me in a maybe 2 or 3 minute tree meditation, if you would. So if you are interested, please stand up. Go ahead and kind of relax into your body. Maybe put your feet about shoulder width apart. Start moving your knees. Relax them, don't lock them. You'll pass out. Okay. So gently start taking breaths, deep breaths, in your own authentic rhythm, in your own authentic timing. And as you inhale this sacred connectedness that is in this space and in this time. And as you exhale, release any tension and relax even more into your physical body. Do a quick body scan, do a quick body check-in. If there are any parts that need to relax, ask them to relax. If there are any parts that need a little healing, tell it, I will pay attention to you. I will pay attention to you. So as you relax, there are roots from the bottom of the soles of your feet, and they are beginning to reach down into Mother Earth. Can you feel what Mother Earth feels like. You may bump into one of the many crystals. Can you feel the soil? What temperature is it? Keep extending down further. And if you can, maybe even go to the core. And as you do this and experience this, start drawing up those minerals, that coolness, into the soles of your feet, up your legs, through your knees, up through your spine. Feel this nutrients that Mother Earth provides. And as it grows and extends, you too have branches. Begin to extend up, up, up. Oh, and give this energy all the way. And I invite you to reach as high as you can. Yes, past the clouds. Touch a star. Touch your brothers and sisters, the star beings. And from that beautiful energy, feel that and draw it all the way down again through the top of your head, through your spine, through your knees, bottom of the feet, and give it to Mother Earth. And do it again. You can rotate this energy, draw up through you, extend up, draw down through you, give to Mother. As you cycle this energy in your own rhythm and own time, take another minute or two. When you open up to the universe, it immediately pours into you. You are no longer an ordinary human being. You are transcended. You now can connect with the existence of all energy. So now I invite you. Oh, you can do this anytime you want to. You can do it in the mornings, you can do it at night. I invite you to come back into this room. I invite you to, in your own timing, feeling your feet, feeling your hands. Gently open your eyes when you're ready. Remember, trees drink water. It's a good reminder for being up at this altitude. I loved what was said about when we look at these talking boxes. I have one up here, but it's just from a clock. Hopefully it doesn't get any reception. I've got enough going on. So we look at all of these screens. We are very multidimensional. Part of my energy is not limited to space and time. And although that sounds like, wow, that's so cool, I'll prove it to you. Did you eat breakfast? Oh, we just bounced breakfast. Oh, what are you going to do tomorrow? Oh, we just bounced to tomorrow. I remember. I go this way, that way. Energy is exchanged. I'm an empath, so I play with energy a lot. I understand it. It plays with me. I dance in it and through it. So it can be residual. You can pick it up. So basically, if you recognize those things, then you become aware that all is energy and that there's not a limit. It's not limited to these things, but it can be home focused. And that is part of integration too. So we can walk through this energy and ignore it, or we can pay attention to it. Phenomenology. Phenomenology. I think I got $5 for that one, right? So phenomenology. What is that? What's a phenomenon? Well, it can be any experience is a phenomenon. You can walk outside and look at a tree. Again, the tree, huh? Look at the tree. Be there with the tree. You are having a phenomenon. It's as simple as that. So now what do you do with this phenomenon? Do you just walk away? If you want to. But where is the meaning in this phenomenon? The greatest, this is what I say, I could be right, I could be wrong, but I say this. The greatest teacher in you. Because that is where wisdom solidifies itself. I can talk, you can read books, everybody can talk, but all of a sudden when a light bulb came on, nobody did that except for you. You did that. The meaning became alive. So when you experience, let me tell you, being up here this weekend, a lot of phenomenon. Do you agree? A lot of phenomenon. A lot of phenomenon.
Yeah.
Please don't walk away. Allow it to become alive within your being. How, Granddaughter Crow? Should I meditate on that tree? Sure. But then, take a walk and reflect. Consider, what did that do here? And then, get a piece of paper, get a journal, and write. Why? Well, it's just like a dream. Oh, that was a good dream, and then all of a sudden, oh, what was my dream? I think I dreamt last night. Oh, I have a dream journal. Oh, look at, that's my dream. I remember my dream. Write it down. Record it. Record it. Record it in your own words. Not only, oh, at 11 o'clock, Granddaughter Crow caught on stage. Okay, so yeah, that's a fact. But then go, and it made me feel, it made me think about, it made me experience in your own words. Maybe the cawing made you giggle. It made me feel like I was 4 years old at one time. It's now becoming alive. It's becoming alive. This sounds so simple, but it is so true. Then what do? You let it go, and you take another walk. And then maybe the next day or in an hour, because things shift so fast, you go back and you go, oh, let's see here. And you start reading it. And now it's reintegrating into you. And I'm going to ask you, don't just read it in your head. I think your ears need to hear. Your ears need to hear what your mouth is saying. Although I'm talking a lot, I'm a very good listener. And one time my son said to me, Mom, how is it that you're such a good listener? And I said, because sometime in this conversation, you are going to say what you need to hear. So basically, when our ears begin to hear it, now there's life and there's integration here on what we'll call the third dimension or whatever. Here's an example. I'll even solidify it more. Let's say you have a dream journal. You got up, you wrote the dream, and you're like, okay, and you go away. Or you're considering the dream that you had all day. Maybe it's stuck with you really hard. But you can't figure out what's the meaning of this dream. And then you go all day, and then you talk to a friend that night, and you say, oh yeah, I had this dream, and as you start talking, and as you start saying it, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I know what that means. So when it's just in your mind, that is only one dimension. Well, I'm not saying that my mind is one dimension, because I'm here to raise that. When it's only in your mind, that it is only in one space. It needs to become alive within you. My father says, we talk so intelligently about all of our confusions. But when you ask someone, what do you know? Do you know what you know? You don't unless you allow it to come alive. So we are up on the sacred mountain, in the sacred space, in the sacred time. We're going to have to come down off of this mountain sometime. And in the coming down off of this mountain, not only am I inviting you to take the meeting and carry it forward as a leader, I'm also going to say, you could possibly experience what I call a snapback. A snapback. And they can be kind of painful. Let's say that you still have an 8 to 5, and you go in there, and all of a sudden there's all these computers, and your energy, which is right now so big and experiencing and moving around and telepathically talking to people and having all of these conversations, and you walk into this other world, and it's like, boom! That's how it feels to me. It hurts, it's painful, I get compressed. So if this happens, what I'm going to ask you to do, as we grow and wake up more and more into the remembering that we already hold all of this within us, as we elevate, that's what we kind of feel like is happening, or remember, or relaxing into this wisdom, however you want to see it, because there's all sorts of ways. We become more sensitive, more aware, more conscious, and when we become more sensitive, or aware, or conscious, we start feeling a little more uncomfortable around maybe the computer screen, maybe the box, the cubicle, whatever it is. And so there are tools that you can do in order to allow yourself to continue and not have it so painful. One of the tools is putting your hands like this without a microphone. You connect all your circuits right there. One hand, they say, is for giving, and one hand is for receiving, right? You have a dominant hand. You have a passive hand, non-dominant hand. So when you begin to, and we're doing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing this, but when you begin to put your fingers together like this, you're reconnecting your circuits. And then the next thing that you can do is you flow the energy all the way through your heart center and back into you. I call it a battery recharge. A battery recharge. This allows you to remain in that heart-centered energy, irregardless. Have you ever seen somebody delivering a speech and they talk like this? I've seen it actually even here today. They are recharging. If I were to do like this and try and talk, I'd be speaking multiple languages, probably laughing, going, oh, look, I would be receiving so much information from each of the energies in here that you'd be like, get down off the stage, granddaughter Crow, you don't exist. So I have to recharge my energy, okay? So that's one little tool. That's one little tool that I'm going to share with you. There are many, and you can do these things. So when you go home, off of this mountain, actually, I'm going to invite you to start now, whenever you wish, maybe in a little bit. Take some time, go outside. It's very, very, very important. And jot down any notes. Just let them come. Let them come. Maybe somebody said something. Maybe it wasn't even somebody on stage. Maybe you ran into somebody in the restaurant and they said, oh, and they said something, and they saw you, and it impacted you, and it gave you a shift.
So write it down. Write it down. There is no right or wrong. Just write it down and then take a walk. Do this and start bringing the meaning. What did that mean to me? And then go, and then next weekend, read your notes. Read your notes out loud to yourself so that this wonderful phenomenon does not become that dream that you once had that you wish you could remember. I'll wait till next year. No, honey, be a leader. Be a leader. Let's integrate this. Let's ground ourselves. Let's stop thinking that the world out there in nature speaks English. Let's start synthesizing this beautiful information so that we can carry this authentic, divine unfolding that is within each of us. And let me tell you, what will happen is that when you show up as a bright light, other people start remembering how to do that. You're giving them permission in a very interesting way. So, I am honored to be here with each of you, individual, authentic beings. And I am honored to be here with all of you in balance and harmony. At 1 o'clock, I will be giving a workshop with some more tools and holistic integration, and it will be a little bit more of a dialogue. So if you have a question or whatnot, come to the workshop and we'll start discussing all of these things. It's called holistic integration, so that when our sensitivities, when we come down off the mountain, and our sensitivities and awareness are higher, that we'll be able to synthesize this information and carry it forward. Thank you.
Good. That's good.
We have some correspondence from our live stream that we'd like to address. Today's sister, up, reach the clouds, reach the stars. Grandmother Silver Star, Grandmother Silver Star has pointed out that 1122 was sacred time and space, and 1144 is relaxing into wisdom's time. And there's a little something in the middle here that says, I walk with you, Ushi Betsy. That means something.
That's their name, their logon name that they're using.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. We're going to sing a prayer, blessing, food song, and then we'll have our. He's going to do it. All right.
Beautiful.